Hey divas, welcome back to Women Unleash, where our inner strength meets unapologetic confidence. If you're just joining us, my name is Buki, and we're in our month 4 of Women Unleash, of this transformative journey. In this month, we've been talking about purpose in motion, and for the past few weeks, we've been diving into that. 2 weeks ago, we started off with stepping out of our comfort zone. Yeah, it wasn't an easy thing. Well, we've been encouraging ourselves where we've been circling the mountain for too long. We've been staying in the same place. We've been desiring to do that, to, apply for that job, put that pitch out, write that book. And we've just been desiring and not putting into action. And 2 weeks ago, we encouraged ourselves to start putting those things into actions, which we did. And last week, we talked about setting systems and structures that will help us maintain our success. Because for us to be able to maintain our success, we need to have things in place. We need to have like a roadmap. Because our structures are like a roadmap, is our plan, how to get to our goal, how to get to our destination. And our systems, our daily habits, those things that we'll be doing on a regular basis that we would desire to become, we pledge ourselves to be consistent to, so that it will take us to our final destination. So today, which is our week 15, we'll be talking about resilience in the face of setback. Resilience in the face of setback. If you look at it, there is no one that has made it. There's no successful person that has just gone on a roller coaster. I had my dream, I dreamt big, and it just went in. Think about Obama. It didn't come easy for him to be the first black president. Think about women leaders. It didn't just come easy. There are barriers that they needed to, cross. There were times that they were rejected, but they had to, bounce back. So today we'll be talking about that, resilience in the face of setback. So what is resilience? So I went into the dictionary, Collins Dictionary, said resilience is the ability to bounce or spring back into shape, position. Another one says resilience is the ability to adapt successfully to stress, adversity, trauma, or major life changing by bouncing back. You see, every of this definition just talks about that there is something in your inside that you need to trigger and to be able to bounce back. It means you should not just stay in that place of of failure, in that place of setback. You need to pick up yourself and move forward. Because even the Bible says a righteous man will fall, but you will yet rise again. You will rise again, sweetheart. So on this our journey, there are times that, we're going to get to those phone calls. I would say, sorry, sweetheart, you didn't make it. Sorry, sweetheart, we don't like your pitch. Sorry, sweetheart, we don't like your design. Or we just get stuck. You go to the publisher and say, sorry, sweetheart, we can't publish your work because we've had this line of stories in the past. Or you go to the media house, you want to pitch your video to Netflix, and they will tell you, no, we can't take your article. But we don't give up. We don't give up, because that's what our transformative journey is about. We don't give up. We keep pushing on. We keep moving on ahead. So if you've been in these situations, you're not alone. We all have been in there one way or the other, and this is time for us to encourage ourselves so we can move on. So as usual, I've broken this down into different aspects, and the first one I said, setbacks are not signs for failure, but stepping stone to a greater achievement. Yes, it's a stepping stone to our strength, to our greater achievement. I said resilience is not never failing, but you rise differently each time. Because there are times that we're going to actually get those no's. There are times that we're going to do things our way and it's not going to work. There are times where life will throw things at us and we're going to fail. But you know what? We're not going to stop there. We're going to pick up ourselves. We're going to push forward. That's how I want you to begin to see yourself. You need to redefine it in your mind, in your spirit. You're not going to give up. That's what I said. It's not never failing, but each time that we fail, each time that we fall, we rise again and we see things in different perspective. We see, where have I missed it? What went wrong? not I am not good enough. You say, what went wrong? What do I need to work on? And that brings me, tying it down to my next topic, which is emotional recovery. Because the first step to resilience is emotional recovery. So when we fail, when we get those messages that says, no, you're not, you didn't get that interview, you didn't pass that interview, sweetheart, you want to cry, you cry it out. Cry it, cry, you know, but don't stay there. You know, that's the beauty of we women. We do not give up, we do not stay there, but you know, you need support. Even if it's about, if it's a broken marriage, a marriage that you've invested so much in, a business you've invested so much in, and all of a sudden it's breaking down. Yes, take time to cry, take time to be counseled, take time to go through the process, but don't stay there. Pick up yourself and see what you're supposed to be learning in that situation. I said, cry it out. Tell yourself, this moment does not define me. It doesn't. One single situation, even if it was you that caused that's your proposal or your business plan to fail, even if it was your fault, do not beat yourself up. You cry it out, you sit it out, go for counseling, talk to people, that have gone ahead of you, but pick yourself back up again and don't just stay in that spot. Don't stay in that spot of rejection. Don't reject yourself. Don't push yourself back. I said, ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me about myself? Yeah, I have failed it. I have messed up, messed up in the marriage, messed up in the business, messed up in, my business plan, messed up in whatever aspect it is, as long as it's not detrimental, to somebody's death, And then pick up yourself and look inward again. Go through everything and say, what is this situation teaching me? What am I supposed to be doing? What do I need to correct? And that is why we need to have good systems and good structures in place, because those are the things that are going to help us. And that's why we also need to have some of our systems will be people that we look up to, people in our corner that are able to stand with us in the days of adversity. We shouldn't stand alone. That's why we need people, you need good people that will stand with you, that will pray along with you, that will encourage you, that will push you forth, that will pull you out from that, dungeon, and you don't stay in that state of rejection. Then that ties it up to the third one. I said reframing challenges. If your setback wasn't a rejection, what if your setback was not a rejection, but a redirection? We've looked at it in one way to say, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? Why did I fail? That was the other part. And that's where we're talking about, emotional recovery. Now, we want to look at it in the other way. What about if the setback was not a rejection, but a redirection? There are times where people have gone to apply for jobs, or people have gone to pitch, a business plan, and they have been refused so many times. But you know what? They will tell you, yes, later now to come, to tell them that actually that wasn't God's plan for them. Because sometimes it's not because we're not good enough. It's not because that's not what God wants for us, or God thinks that we don't deserve it. But sometimes it's because there's something better for us. It's just another example. An example is when you go to look for a house. You start bidding for this house. You've started for the house. You've gone through it. You're nearly at the end of completion stage. All of a sudden, one of the parties just pulls up, boom, and that really breaks you, because that means you're starting from the beginning. But you go for second or the third one, and you find out that even this new house that you're getting is cheaper, better placed, with amenities, and where the local government where it is being placed, and it's even better for the children, for their schools, for your work, and it's cheaper and bigger than what you will have ever imagined. That has happened. If you ask successful people where they have failed, they will tell you there are times where they wanted to actually give up, but then they've sat down to look at themselves, and then one phrase comes up, said, and to tell them, what about if this was not a rejection, but a redirection? So, sweetheart, that is why also we need the structures and the plan in place. Now you will go back to your drawing board, because you do not abandon your project. Yes, that way you have done it has not worked. It has failed. Now we will go back to our structures and our plan. And then what we'll do, we'll recheck it again. We'll check the timing of when we said we're going to do this and that, if it's working, if it's not working. Example is a school. Very common in schools and in hospitals, there's always a leaking roof, a leaking somewhere, somewhere or the other, due to wear and tear of the building. And remember we said our building and our structure. So the goal of this school is to educate children easily and make them be the best version of themselves. Now this classroom is leaking. You come in the morning and the class is leaking. The teachers are not going to say, that's it, pack your things and go. That's it. We give up from teaching you today. Everybody pack up, we've given up. No, the teachers won't say that. Instead, what are they going to say? This place is leaking. We're going to find a solution. They move you from there. What did they do? They take you to another class. And then what happens? The education continues. That teaching continues because the goal is that child should be totally furnished, isn't it? And that child should be trained. That child should be educated and get to be the best version of themselves. So yes, the plan has not worked. Yeah, they've gone back to the drawing board. They've abandoned that plan for that time being. And then they've started a new plan, moving you to a new class and starting up. So what you see what I'm trying to say? So you are redirecting, you are not abandoning your goal. And that is why we need to be flexible, sweetheart. We need to be flexible because resilience means we need to be flexible. We need to be bendable. When life throws this at us, we need to rise up again. Look at it in another perspective and rise again. Life doesn't throw one arrow at us and then we just bend and we just buckle in. No, because that's what that's what happened. That's the human instinct. Once you face a setback, your human instinct tells you to just draw back. No, we're not going to be drawing back. We're going to pick up from where we stop. You're going to look at it, through the microscope and say, Bookie, where did I go wrong? What is this thing teaching me? And you always tell yourself, it is not my fault. Don't blame yourself. If you sit down doing that blaming game, sweetheart, you're not going to move past it. You need to take out yourself from doing that blaming game and tell yourself, where did I go wrong? What do I need to do correctly? How can I bounce back? Who can I go and meet? Who can equip me? How do I equip myself? What can I change in this plan, in my structure to take me to my destination? Yeah. So, sweetheart, this week as we engage with our worksheet, I want you to go through it, and those things are there in our worksheet. The most important is for you to look at the times where you've had a setback, how you have triumphed, what you learned in those times where you have had an obstacle and then you have come back and then you have been more successful. Those are your foundations because they build you up. They are like muscles, resilience are your muscles. They build you up. So you go back to the drawing board and say, what happened the last time? What did I do? How did I come out of it? And try that again. So this week as you go, when you face those obstacles, when things don't go according to plan, sweetheart, do not shrink. You will tell yourself, I rise strong, I rise boldly, and I rise again. Because you're rising wiser this time. You remember, you tell yourself, because resilience means what? That we bounce back. And when we bounce back wiser, clearer, taking up responsibility and being the best version of ourselves. So go this week, divas, and unleash your wall. Be the best version of yourself. Till I see you next week. Love you.